Here's another late development, and this news keeps coming in as we're talking here.
All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Books and Beyond Mail Book Club. As always, we're joined by a hero who doesn't have a working camera, Black and his strippers, Rob and his gamer headset, and we all black for JB. What's going on?
What's up, man?
Everybody, fella.
Chilling. For the first time, Black wasn't being thirsty to finish his book, so we appreciate him, thinking of the little folks today.
Just understand that this week I'm reading everything.
And a lot has happened this week. Within 1 month, we had a bunch of white supremacists get their ass beat on the Capitol, a bunch of white hedge funders losing money, and Obama said the N-word, so we good. This has been a great month in my book, so I'm happy to feel it. We're reading part 2 of the A Promised Land, and this really talks a lot about like his election cycle and his steps into presidency, and really paints this idea of Obama realizing who and what he represents. Once again, I'm of the mindset that Obama doesn't really understand certain things, but for the first time, I think while reading this book, I empathized with him in some parts. I'll talk about it when he wins the primary in Iowa, and how they were chanting, and he couldn't really go up there and say, y'all can't say this. That's kind of racist. But it's a lot going into it. So where we want to start off, chapter 5.
I don't know, I'm fired up and ready to go.
What was the chant? Hell yeah, it was fired up, ready to go. And that kind of stuck with me though, real talk. That kind of stuck with me. That was a nice ass slogan. Fired up and ready to go. Like if you just had a room full of people chanting that shit, that'd be pretty rough. But
he did.
It's such a good like catchphrase, and just it's the embodiment of like a chant. Like I just feel like I don't know, maybe because I went to my like cartoon days, but I just felt like I saw that like in a battle anime or something like that. Like that was someone's chant before they go out into the mat to fight somebody. But a lot of things happen too much. And Rob, what you want to start with from chapter 5? Was there anything?
Hey, you was a little stuck over there. You know who to call.
Because you want to know what I'm looking at right now? If you're looking at my screen right now, I'm looking for my face to see who I see, and I can't see shit on my screen right now. So I'm literally stuck here. And Black, your screen frozen. Like this, today's not a good day for me.
It's not frozen, bro.
Black looks sleep. You look sleep, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
My man's got his robe on.
Exit out. It just exit out.
Yeah. Rob, where you want to start off, man?
So chapter 5, is that the chapter when him and Hillary are going head for Democratic, or when he first?
He was still they was in the primaries with Edwards was still in it too.
He was talking a lot about chapter 5. He was talking about his plans, how he lacked experience, and then he talked more about his staff. You get to know a lot about his staff in chapter 5. Emily, their names are escaping me right now, but Emily was a big one. How Ben and Jerry's did it. Marvin, Reggie, and Gibbs. He talks about their superstitions on like how they play basketball at every court, and you get to just really know like what he wants to focus on, his healthcare plan, getting facts versus personality. Like he would come up here. They talk about Obama's flaws. How he gives long-winded answers, and for some strange reason, people started falling asleep when he's talking. And it's not because he's boring, but because he's telling the truth. And in politics, you don't tell the truth. You give emotional resonance. You need people to resonate with you on an emotional level. So this is where Obama develops the persuasive side of him, the side of him we know and loved so much. The charismatic version of him was developed during this heist, and it's really thanks to like Marvin, Reggie, and Gibbs and their relentless approach to him. How Gibbs is always doom scrolling. Anytime bad news had to be given, it was Gibbs. Even on good days, Gibbs is giving bad news. The day they won, he was like, "It's not looking good, bro. Like, bro, relax, sit your ass down." But Marvin and them always making a choose to play basketball with everybody, and how they beat up on the firefighters, didn't care, slam dunking and shit. But that was really what it was about. And his debates. I want to talk a little bit about his debates and how Obama is not good at the debates, and he thinks like he doesn't think clearly about some of the things he wants to say. Was there anything about the debates that struck you as strange, Rob?
Man is gonna hate on Obama, then try to add a fake ass.
Hey,
What'd you say, bro?
Black is so mad. Black is so mad that I'm just like Black can't handle the fact that I'm criticizing his superhero. Black.
Nobody about superhero now.
No,
I'm just saying, you just like Obama's not good at debates. Nigga, he murdered their ass on every debate.
I mean, he did lose New Hampshire because his poor performance. So
no, he lost New Hampshire because that's New Hampshire, nigga, and he Black.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
He won Iowa. Come on, yeah. That's facts. He won Iowa. We know about Iowa.
New Hampshire. I know how they get down.
Yeah. Facts.
Which one y'all got?
But he did say early on in the debates, he was doing too much of the answering the question and not realizing like it's your time to just get your point across. Don't nobody care about the question. You know, Trump really never answered a question.
Trump in his 4 years of being the president answered 0 questions.
None, not one. So he got it.
And then on top of that, we also came up. And you want to know something that I find really interesting? I will bring this up. Ben and Jerry not endorsing him. Ben and Jerry's very, very progressive, and even during the Colin Kaepernick situation and the child migrant situation, Ben and Jerry's has always been very progressive. And how they said your ability to want to go to war or not having a good war exit strategy was the reason why they didn't want to support him. So I just want to throw that out there. Ben and Jerry's continuity, still sticking with it. But what do you think about?
I want to throw out there is what is like. See, I don't like how people don't know shit. And that's how you know Ben and Jerry's didn't know shit.
Speak on it.
What do people think that you can do when you just put everybody out? It's not that simple. First, you gotta get all the equipment. So you gotta get all the equipment out. Now that's gonna fuck up your ability to fight when they trying to attack you, right? So you need all your heavy equipment, but that shit gotta go. So you gotta fucking like do that shit without them knowing. That's the only way you can leave, bro. It gotta be like damn, they left already. That's how it gotta be, because fucking if you do that shit the way America like to do everything and everything on news, like we trying to leave sometime this month. Bam, we hitting their ass every day this month because they trying to get up out of here.
Black say it's like black people trying to leave a barbecue. If you tell people you about to leave, you're gonna be there for like 2 more hours.
2 more hours.
Exactly. Now you gotta hug everybody, and everybody feel like they remember what they wanted to tell you. But I can't shoot you when you on the offense. But once your ass is packing up and trying to go, I can attack heavy.
You know, I don't claim to understand the duplexity of it and understand the decisions on the ground because I wasn't there. You know, but I've always been of the mindset in this new era. There's no way in hell we should still be blowing shit up or fighting people. Like, we got pens and paper for diplomacy. Like, man fighting is ridiculous. Is a ridiculous notion to me. Like, we've been on this earth
you write
too
your
goddamn
pen
long.
Paper to a nigga without nothing and see what they do with it.
He gonna shoot you. He or she.
Because the motherfuckers in Afghanistan, they don't really got it, bro. It's literally like it's a third world country, right?
It's a third world country.
They don't have shit, but they right down the street, they next to China. They hours away from China where they got everything. So they like, fuck this.
The only reason why I say this is because if you think about it now, there's nations in the UN who don't have armies, who have dissolved their armies. Now, granted, they're paying people like America to protect them and shit like that. Yeah. But I don't know.
Think about Chicago, bro. Like the less you got, the more you see like shit happen. It's the same. It's a microcosm of the world. Like people with less of stuff is just, I'm gonna take you for everything you got. You come to me wrong.
It's just a battle. I need what I can about your ass. But people without militaries, they kind of damn near dumb. Cause
I wouldn't say they dumb. They sitting ducks.
Yeah, that's dumb.
It's dumb.
Because if everybody, so you got like, okay, I'm gonna build my shit up. Like I'm about to build this new computer. Now I'm about to drive this Bentley. Everything just gonna be amazing. All my money, I ain't gonna have no bank account. I'm just have my money sitting in my line.
with no security.
But it's the military fucking family, a militia, in every house around me. But they militias getting fucked up. They run out of bullets because they ain't got no money. But then I'm like, all right, shit, I'm cool because I ain't involved in that war shit.
Yeah. But okay,
I'm gonna call America when shit get heavy.
I mean, but
they gonna already get what the fuck they want.
Facts.
It's true. I always tell people, you don't call the police when you're being robbed. You call the ambulance after you're done murdering, after you're done defending your property.
You call Black. You remember one of our first episodes? Remember one of our first episodes?
Yeah.
Hey.
Black was Rambo.
Yeah, but I ain't helping niggas, man. Niggas out of luck. Everybody got their own, their own opportunity to arm up.
Black said you got to pay me.
I'm not above playing for private security.
Especially with the snow. Mother be like, yeah, could you? Nah, bro. You might as well go ahead and die. Give them people what they want.
Hey, to be honest, somebody jacked my car. You can have that shit. My insurance rate is awesome. But then let's push to chapter 6, because chapter 5 is sort of the setup for 6, which goes into debates. His speech during the debate when he talked about the woman's issue, where Hillary was constantly being berated and being treated as sort of like the things that like people were making fun of the fact she always wore those goddamn pantsuits. I never understood that. But
she don't know how to dress. Like that's just her fault. She could have got a stylist easily. That wasn't an old white lady. Her stylist was an old ass white lady that wanted her to be a man. Well, her style was an old dyke.
And there's a bunch of stuff that goes into play this. But do you think that comment he made about her being a woman and how she's always getting mistreated do you think that was the backlash was warranted from that, JB?
Not the backlash, but I think he was definitely making a point about it. I think he spoke quickly, and people look for ways to slice up what you say, but his intentions on what he was trying to say was correct. I was actually just talking to my mom about the same thing yesterday, and it is something that's real for women, like that they come off maybe more assertive or aggressive in the workforce, but that's because you dealing with men that trample you in the workforce or try to drown out your voice, so to speak. My mom was the only Black woman doing what she was doing in the whole state of Illinois at one point.
So then, Rob, speak on what was your opinion based on Obama's description of Hillary, because he tried to paint her in a very neutral light, but it's very clear that the world in general didn't like her. What was your feelings?
I feel like my feeling towards his description of Hillary is something that we talked about in the first meeting where we said he was playing it safe, right? And it shows even after later in the book when he beats Hillary, what he does, what he offers toward Hillary, right? So he's like, look, I don't want to be too controversial because I am the first Black man doing this. So I'm going to try to be neutral when describing someone like Hillary Clinton. Because he knew if he went too radical, right, he's not just trying to win Black vote, he's trying to win everyone's vote. So if he were to go too radical, people will sway away from him. And I feel like he was like, that's a gamble I can't afford to take.
I think she ran 4 years too late.
Really? You think she could have beat Bush Senior?
Yeah, second
Bush
time.
Jr. Oh, the
Bush
second
Jr.
time?
second
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
Or
Who ran it? Who was the
the
Dem?
first time. Yeah, the
Who
second
ran
time.
for?
I
Who
don't know,
ran?
nigga. I
John
don't
Kerry.
think
It
nobody
was John
beat
Kerry,
Bush
wasn't it?
like that.
It was John Kerry. No, I think she would have won because the reason that she didn't win part of it was because she was trying to. A lot of the people that voted for Obama would have voted for her instead. But when you going against Obama and her, and I gotta make it, I'm voting for Obama, and a lot of our generation, like they look back at Bill, fair or not fair, they look at things that Bill did and didn't do, and we like, nah, I don't want to deal with that shit again. So like,
We wasn't vote like our generation came out for Obama,
yeah.
but they didn't even do that the second time. Niggas wasn't voting like that.
But I'm just saying when it come down to her versus him.
You know something else that a lot of people aren't gonna talk
John
on.
Kerry, like who the hell voted for him, bro?
Yeah, that's a mean fact. But like all Hillary running showed me was that at the time America wasn't ready for a woman executive leader. They just weren't ready. And I don't know if it's just because Clinton, you know, I said this a long time ago, and I don't know, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. But Hillary not leaving Bill was sort of a stain on her as well, because it showed that you got cheated on.
I think it's a catch-22 though. I think it's a catch-22.
Sure.
I think if she would have left, they would have like, look, you ain't even strong enough to stand behind your man when he makes mistakes.
That's a married white woman. That's a married white woman. It ain't like no. If it was a black woman, they'd probably be okay with her leave, but not a white woman.
Really?
Niggas make mistakes.
It's different.
White people.
It was a catch-22
you ain't leaving no
for
white man.
All right.
But you know what's crazy is a lot of
if
our
she would have left and
generation
she would have
looked at it
died,
backwards.
if she would have left and she'd have died and they'd have found out Clinton shit, they would have forgave him.
And even with that, it's even beyond like she getting cheated on. Like I just said, in her campaign, people just associated, well, since Bill did it, you agree with the shit he did. And like it was just there was no win in that. And that's why I think
specifically about the crime bill or just in general.
The crime bill, big.
But you know, the crime bill got bigger just the past few years, bro. It wasn't like black people just always want to forget. Black people always want to forget.
No one had anything to say about the crime bill when Joe Biden was running for VP or when Obama was in office. It's just people just talk.
That's why I said that.
Yeah, people just talk about shit that they think is important. You're absolutely right, JB.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So they weren't thinking about that shit back then. So if
that's why she would have beat George Bush for like John Kerry. Nothing against him, but she
people wasn't even woke into Obama's second term.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Woke wasn't even a thing. Like all of a sudden we woke now. That's why she would have won. He ran
that was his second term. People wanted to wake
New
up.
York governor or whatever, which is unfair. But everything is about a time. Like if Obama waited 4 more years, who's to say he would have won?
No, facts.
That's what they was telling him.
No, absolute facts. So then let's push into this a little bit. The loss in New Hampshire, was it more because what I really call is just fatigue at this point for him? He had been running straight up and he lost New Hampshire. We already talked about a little bit how it's just New Hampshire. His campaign wasn't really focused on the right spots, especially after winning Iowa. You got to start looking at the map, not from a let me touch every place in the country. Instead, you need to be looking at what places has the most delegates that I can win. That's a battleground. And New Hampshire definitely wasn't a battleground. It was going to go to Hillary because that's the pretentious part of the country as far as Democrats are concerned.
Yeah, I didn't really pay too much to New Hampshire because, like Black said, right? I don't think there's nothing Obama could have done to win New Hampshire.
Yeah, I've been there, bro. New Hampshire ain't the place to be.
The next significant part for us in chapter 6 would then be the DNC speech that he talks about changing the way we look at America, and that America isn't just a white place or a white place or a black place. It's we're all citizens. You're not a white American, you're not a black American, you're American citizen.
Is this in South Carolina?
Yeah, this is in the South Carolina. This speech was real, man. Once again, and I know how y'all gonna defend this, man. Black, put your face on the screen so I can see
Cause
you
you
right
about to
now.
say some silly shit. Look, you
Say,
knew you was about to say something silly.
Black, get your ass on the screen right now so you can defend him. He's talking about this. He's talking about this nation, and I wanted to hear his honest opinion of this, but he didn't really speak on how he felt about making the speech. He did mention at the end of chapter 5 how it made him feel when they were talking about, race doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter. This right here, he didn't speak on it because I think he still holds this speech to be true. Did you see, how did this speech make you feel? Do you still hold this to be true? Do you think Obama still thinks this is true?
I didn't think too much into it as more than just him just playing it safe. I feel like he's just trying to get his seat at the table. So it's like if he were to say, "Whoa, we can't say nothing like that," people would have been like, "I don't know, man. This ain't your time. I don't think you're ready to be our leader."
Now, okay, what was the speech about? Where we at now? What was the speech about? And where?
The South Carolina speech.
The South Carolina speech.
And what was
when
he,
they
what
start
was he
chanting?
mentioning?
Yeah, when people start chanting, "Race doesn't matter."
Oh, well, because he didn't know how to fucking what he gonna say to them? What would you say that race doesn't matter? Heero?
Yeah, me personally,
Because all you like it does, and they be like,
no, I would
does matter.
no,
It does matter. You gonna try to chat against a group? It does matter. It like what you gonna do, bro?
in the heat of no, absolutely, Black, absolutely. In the heat of the moment, there's not really anything you do. You have to, but I think you do put out a statement afterwards. But moreover, when you're writing this book, I would have loved to have heard his real feelings. Like he talked about it when he said race doesn't matter, but this speech, which is considered to be one of his best speech, he doesn't speak on the fact that you just told a bunch of Black people that is who you are as a Black person doesn't matter in America. You're an American. Take off the racial connotation. I think anytime you try and strip away something that identifies somebody, you make it harder for them to be seen.
Bro, but Obama just gonna say what like he
think he was playing it safe.
Yeah, just like we were saying, how he speak for white people.
The spook who sat by the door.
Yeah, so we gotta make them feel like they're involved. Like yeah, race don't matter. I like this guy.
But
he said all the right things.
But isn't it fair to say Freeman acknowledges and tells us what he really feels? Obama has yet to have had a
trying to be the leader.
So who did Freeman tell? Who did Freeman tell?
He told us.
The readers.
Yeah, the readers.
Yeah, I'm saying we were the readers. I'm saying, but outside of that, he just wanted after that, it was he wasn't even telling his homies the real. He just making sure that everybody do what they supposed to, and then toward the end they found out, okay, this how it need to be.
Then he judo chopped the fuck out of somebody.
Yeah. He was hip tossing and shoulder tossing motherfuckers all through the book.
And then, but I definitely disagree. And I brought this up actually here. I wrote this down: the miseducation of the Negro, in the sense of just this talking point of fear of a Black person running, because a lot of Black people started coming up to him and saying, "We're afraid for you."
Can I ask you a question, Heero?
What's up?
As he's running for president, right?
Mm-hmm.
If there's a mental thing. So as he's running for president, and I'm telling myself, yeah, me being Black do matter. Like I'm telling myself that. How do you think that affects him every single day as he's trying to run for president? If I'm just thinking about that, because you do have to drown that out at some point. Like I can't just be like, this matters to keep me from doing X.
I don't think there's, and if you're asking me personally, I feel I could drown that out. I would have to drown that out. But from Obama's standpoint, I don't think he was drowning that out. I think he wasn't even cognizantly aware of it.
I think it's impossible for him not to be aware.
He started getting death threats. So yeah, he was
No,
always
from a standpoint.
He trying to act like a motherfucker. Obama just was just
A
some
coon.
super nice ass in the dark ass.
Like I said, I'm a
Like,
fan of him, but if I can't be critical of him, because once again, the thing I want
and
from
he
this
said that too. He said how the liberal media and people
will
they
bash
be okay
their
with
own.
getting on your ass. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's okay. Like you have
Yeah, I
to
mean
be
it
able
is
to,
okay, but sometimes one be trying to overly bash, so they won't try
for
to
sure.
seem like they really.
You're
fuck
never
with you.
gonna you're
Heero.
never gonna catch me like trying to be overkill. But for the sake of engagement,
Okay.
Black.
So we ain't catching you. You just moving too quick for us or something because we seeing it.
Gotta be quicker than that.
Hey, Black
Now he
over here-
done when he like, oh yeah, like he on this
That's
John
why-
Cena shit.
That's why he not on video today.
Yeah, this nigga John Cena. Hero Cena over there.
Look,
You don't
look,
see
look,
me,
look. Black, if we want to be perfectly honest,
be perfectly honest.
Me getting into politics didn't happen till after Obama's era, because that's when I actually saw the side effect of Obama like being president. Like that's when I became clear, like, wow, this is the stuff that he did. He was a great man. So
it was too cool out, so it had to warm up. They had to warm it up.
Exactly. So like, but from that, being that he was the first president that I actually paid attention to, I wanted to look at him as critically as I would like a medical procedure or anything of that nature. That's just how I became. But I'm always going to be of the mindset. Vegeta's my favorite Dragon Ball Z character, but I get it. He's 5'5", so that makes him.
Some people just like Vegeta. Like I don't even know why people like Vegeta that much.
Vegeta's the best character in the show.
Man, relax. That's all I want to tell Vegeta the whole time. Like, dude, relax.
He's the best character in the show. He has a story arc and everything. He went from blowing up the earth to having 2 kids on the earth.
Well, because he wanted to try. I mean, after you try so hard and you can't do it, bro, just like relax.
No,
man.
it's just bad writing. They give Goku too much plot armor.
I think they like Vegeta because he was confused throughout majority of Dragon
it was
Ball
the fact
Z.
that
I want to be good. I want to be
understand. Evil. Yeah, he didn't want to understand till that bitch sit him down. Like, dude, relax. What I don't like about Dragon Ball Z is how special motherfucker. Like, okay, got special
Goku's
Gohan.
Too damn special. Yeah,
no, I'm talking about Gohan.
Gohan
was
is too
special. He was super special as a kid. Then he grew up to be a third.
Disappointment. He reminded me of that Gucci bitch warmer song.
That nigga became Blank Man. He put on costume and shit. What's the wrestler name? Hercule, bro. Ain't that the wrestler name? The wrestler that Hercule with the Jew wrestler on there. That's a little fucking Jew fro.
Gohan, the biggest disappointment
ever.
Biggest disappointment ever. He beat Cell, bro. And then
they said they had the meme up saying that when your parents told you could be anything you want, but you grew up to be nothing.
That's Gohan.
You grew up to be a disappointment.
Hey, in the new series, in Dragon Ball Z Super, they try and make a comeback for him. But I ask this.
Hey, that nigga Vegeta is the motherfucking.
He's the GOAT.
He's the sand Krillin.
No, he not. Nappa would be the sailing Krillin.
No, he a sand Krillin. Like Krillin was motherfucking nothing, but he had the biggest attitude. Now,
low key,
Vegeta got the biggest attitude.
Krillin's the strongest human being on Earth.
Yeah. Now Vegeta is a Saiyan version of him.
I think people don't really give Vegeta the credit he deserves, man. That's all I'm saying. But
put his credit on him. He got his ass. So how many
times? Looking for reasons. Did
y'all see RDC, right? What RCDC?
Yeah.
The anime shit when they do that shit.
Yeah. Anime house.
Always starting shit. Yeah.
You want to fight?
Relax, bro. You don't want to fight Goku, bro. He gonna beat your ass. He always beat your ass. He just said they get buck with everybody. They tell like, all right, you want to fight me? Like, all right, let's go out. But you can't beat me though.
I like this thing that they put in the book, and I did not know this about John Lewis, saying that he wasn't going to vote for Obama.
But that was more so a loyalty thing. It wasn't like he was saying like, okay, they've been rocking me for the longest, so I'm gonna stand with them on this one. Too.
So are you guys in agreement to this?
Yeah. A loyalty, yeah. I mean, you can be loyal to who you want to be loyal to. Yeah, but Obama's like, okay, cool, I understand that. You don't know me from a can of paint just because I'm black. I mean, he ran into me every now and again. And then he didn't
want that vote. He didn't want the just because I'm black vote.
Yeah.
Mm.
But no, but he also was saying like I can understand that because I'm fighting for these white votes too.
Mm.
Right.
He got a little Mary Lou in them to vote.
No, hey, I think that's fair. That's
And
a
that,
fair answer.
and Heero, that goes to my point too that I was making before when I said Obama became the president too fast. He had been in DC and he touched on it. He'd been in DC for like a week and a half. Like, oh, you the president. Like that just don't work. I can't create the relationships that I need to do what I gotta do.
Mm.
But you know he wasn't better creating relationship with certain individuals. Like now you see they really got QAnon motherfuckers
but
in the
some of the
Senate.
people he's
Hey,
talked
that
to,
shit is crazy,
I think
Black.
That's what I'm saying. You got to notice that.
He
But you got to know that some
them.
of them was KKK, bro. A lot of them old niggas KKK, like
I
legit.
ain't talking about them. I'm talking about the people he brought up that decided to vote in a different direction. I think if they had gotten to know him, he would have been able to sway them differently.
So you thought getting to know his mind and we go see past that nigga.
No, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people like John Lewis that he brought up, people that he brought up.
Oh, well, no, I don't like, but it was more so for like John Lewis said, bro. He's like, yeah, like he talked to him on the phone, like, yeah, bro. It's not to downgrade you, bro. It's just they've been supporting me.
Yeah. I in retrospect, I think John Lewis made the right decision. He passed a lot of bills using the Clinton administration, and loyalty is key. John,
and the outsiders gonna see that though. So like everybody else would have been like, oh damn, John Lewis going Obama, even though Clinton been rocking him all this time. I can't trust him.
Yeah.
So now he brings something else for it. They gonna be like, yeah, bro, I don't know, man.
So then
maybe when I pull something up, you're gonna be go with the other because he black.
So then let's talk about this real quick. This was towards the end of the chapter. Him and his Pastor Wright. Rob, Pastor Wright, without context, was seen as a radical pastor because of the things he said. Do you think Obama and company made the right decision stepping away from him and for what he said?
You might want to go to somebody else. You know my answer. He was playing it safe, man. He couldn't be too controversial. Yeah. It's like, dude was saying the
sometimes
truth.
they be wanting him to be Farrakhan, like, like pull out a little bit of Farrakhan, like put a little ounce of that out.
I did have a little.
Whitey is tripping. Look,
I felt like they both. I felt like they both chose themselves. Like, when Wright spoke out, like he spoke. I gotta speak. I gotta defend myself and let people know who I really am. But then Obama chose himself too. Like, I can't let you just say what you want to say, and then they gonna keep on attacking.
But you know how the Reverends be, bro. He after Obama was down the run, he knew he knew he's about to get more clout. So he got to say a lot of shit to get more people to come bring them dollars into that church. That's all it was about for them niggas, bro. It wasn't like he really stood on that shit. Cause what they at now? Collecting that motherfucking moolah from them black people that and all these political funding that they've been getting all this past time since.
I think that's a good point. You would have to be the person. You got to be who you say you are, because people gonna challenge you.
I knew he was one of them reverends when they said he was a Marine. I'm like, yeah, because he knew what it was like to make nothing, and he paid attention to what these priests was getting. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, bro. That's my ultimate backup plan, to read the Bible a couple times and become a pastor.
That's yours personally.
Yeah. If all else fails, I know I'm gonna cash out that way.
There's 2 episodes ago you said Jesus never gave us a chair. That shit got me 110 views on TikTok. Ain't nobody go.
They be like, cause he a carpenter, bro, but he ain't make shit. He a carpenter. But when I get up there, the pulpit I'm gonna preach on gonna be the one he created. I'm gonna say Jesus created this pulpit, not by his own hands, but through the, I'm gonna be
his hands through me.
His hands through
the congregation say amen.
He said,
I am the vessel.
The Amish folk that I bought it from. The church bought this in Jesus' name.
Pastor, says it was made in China. Says it was made in China.
There's Israelites everywhere.
There's Israelites everywhere.
Yeah, so the Amish don't live in China. Look. That's what we're saying now. We've been everywhere, huh? So you're not willing to learn in my church. That's crazy.
Is there anything else in chapter 6 that struck us as fun?
And this what Edwards get kicked out too?
What's the name? One thing, like anything about Hillary, it just ain't that, it ain't catching for me to be like, oh man, this
I will admit, like, for as long as these chapters was, he spent a lot of time talking about his opponents, and I was like, man, I ain't come here to hear about your opponents. I want to hear about your shit. Like, I found some of the most interesting stories to be ones where he was either talking about his family, talking about how they had that juju about not playing pickup ball before every vote came out. I was just like, I want to know more shit like that. The charms that he keeps in his pockets, that shit was fascinating to me, because I remember a press conference where he pulled something out of his pocket and it fell on the floor, and someone asked him what it was, and he just said, oh, it's just a good luck charm. And so many people had questions about it. But speaking of charms, let's talk about the flag pin controversy.
Oh, that shit hilarious, bro.
I remember hearing about this in the news. That's why
did y'all ever get the chance to watch go to Daily Show on YouTube and then put in Obama what they call it when they fuck up in the office? When they always had like the presidential fucking damn, because they have them all the time when they.
Oh, you talking about the where they roast his ass?
No, you know how damn. The bad things the presidents do, what they call it, scandals. Yeah, look up Obama look up Obama scandals on the Daily Show, bro. It's fucking hilarious, bro. Because it's a whole bunch of them of nothing.
Yeah,
but
the
tan
suit
news make it seem like it's so crazy, bro. Like
it's
how un-American he is and how unpatriotic. Really funny?
I didn't know Fox News has been this crazy for this long.
Yeah, that's how they always been. All news be like that though. That'd be the crazy part. Like they either left or right. They never just
left or right.
Yeah. And they never give you the opportunity, bro. But like that's why I like watching Roland. Because he try to give you the opportunity, but like he gonna make sure you sound stupid when you do.
Stupid. Roland will
Democrat
make
Democratic or Republican. But he be having this guy on there. This black guy was just on there the other day talking about how stuff wasn't racist.
Because Fox News was super disrespectful. Calling
bro.
Baby mama, like just when I saw that
talking shit, they told motherfucker jive talking and shit like that. And then the black dude on there, he Republican was like, yeah, you guys look at everything like it's racist. I'm like, nigga, they only talking about black reporters that.
I hate that. I know who you talk about, that chunky dude too.
No, he's not. No, not him. It's a new dude, bro. It's a new bro. It's from the past few days, bro.
I be hating the black people who be trying to sell out their own folks. That the Candace Owens, the Brandon Tatums, all these.
But he told us that, hey, that nigga Rose like, people. Don't be bringing that bullshit on my show. Like, that's what, and YouTube knew I was gonna click it once I seen bullshit. Somebody ain't no way he said that. That nigga said that shit.
So then let's talk about the first time in chapter 7. This is the first time he knew stuff started to change, because this is when the death threats started to come in. And this is when he first got the secret agent detail. At that point, it started getting real. How uncomfortable is it to have the spotlight on you? Like, do you, as a person who played sports, I remember this feeling, but I always had a helmet on. So no one really knew what I looked like when I was walking down the streets of New York. No one knew what I looked like. But like for him, and the situation got real, at this point, did y'all feel like this was the point where you was like, oh, okay, he has a real shot? Like, I felt like this was when the light turned on for me, like, oh, damn, when he got the agent detail, that's because it wasn't necessarily his people giving him numbers. It was the security saying, he's getting so many threats that we're intercepting that we have to give him detail now. And that's pretty important. So like, what's the importance of like this moment for you? Was this a turning point for you guys? I mean, we know how the story ends, but like, Rob, do you feel like this was a turning point?
Hey, funnily enough, when I read the part when it talked about him getting that additional detail, I immediately thought Michelle probably turned up on him at the crib. It's like, I told you I ain't want this shit to begin with. I was rolling reading this part.
Yo, what about you, JB?
Yeah, so to be honest, when he announced, I felt like he was gonna win. It was just like, what was that? When he first started the campaign, because it was just too much Obama. I didn't even really know who he was yet. But I heard a lot about Obama. So I was like, oh yeah, I think he gonna win. But when he got that additional detail, flash forward to today, I didn't realize how serious it was for him at that point. Like I knew he probably was getting some death threats and things, but like you flash forward and you think about all these Proud Boys and all that came out with Trump, like man, he's probably getting a lot of like
He was
that.
getting a lot. Yeah, and I'll say, and that's a great point because we right now are looking at this outside looking in. When in the reality of the situation, motherfuckers was like motherfuckers is low key racist, hiding cockroach races. Like,
Yeah.
Black, can you speak to the fact that like because you're in the military, so like there's a lot of people who have been getting arrested from the Capitol storming who were ex-military. In fact, one of the women that died, she was she was in the Air Force. Like when you saw Obama starting to come to rise, did you notice that there was a lot of like racial tension from the services?
Well, I was in after he became president, so it was just like the military is fake ass Republicans. Even though they don't make shit, like the people that's in the service don't understand how democratic they should be, just like the white people.
Mm-hmm.
But they fake fucking know everything. So that'd be their problem because they just getting what they basically like military basically is like Fox News kids that join the service, bro. Because they just straight they spew Fox News bullshit all day.
Oh, okay.
But they racist as hell in the military. Everybody, they come from the same place, bro. They all racist.
And then we talk, and towards the end of chapter 7, he talks about the speech that he gave that he didn't really like because he felt like he was lying, but he had to sell this story because he wanted to be able to have a conversation. This was when he went on the debate stage and he just flat out said, "I don't know anything about foreign politics." And it was one of Obama's starting weaknesses, but it was during this time that he realized he needed to ante up a little bit, and that pushed us into chapter 8, where he made his trip to Iran. A lot of people give Obama flack for being the apologetic president, because when he became president, first thing he did was start traveling to other countries to build this rapport. Reading this part of this segment, and I wasn't one of the people that agree with that. I think it's great that we have a world type view, that we're engaged. And Obama was one of the few presidents that actually took effort to go out and meet other world leaders in their home territory. So I really appreciate it for that. But this is really the precursor to it, because Obama learned how to do that in this chapter, in chapter 8. He had two Republicans, a general and a Republican Senate seat holder, travel with him and hear those perspectives. So I think he definitely played this correctly. This was a decent move by Obama that I really love to see. How important was it for Obama to travel, JB, and get this experience firsthand?
I think he even kept touching on it. Like he didn't know enough about foreign policy. Like he knew what he knew, and he's been foreshadowing who he is. Like when he don't know something, he dive all the way in, and this was just another example of that.
Oh, definitely. What is the contrast though for you, Rob, when you think about how the Republican Party botched, the Iraq situation? You then turning to Republicans for advice. What do you think do you think that was? I mean, it worked out in his favor, but would you have liked to have seen him go a different direction?
No, I feel like similar to when he beat Hillary, and then he offered up a position within his cabinet. He's still trying to showcase that he's kind of neutral, and he was like, "Look, even though I really don't mess with you, I'm gonna reach out to you for your advice, just so you can see we all on one accord and one team."
No, that's absolutely fair. Then Black, can I throw this question to you real quick? In retrospect, because he's writing this book after his election, at the current time he had dropped the most bombs in the Middle East than any other president. So was his plan, or him telling us this story without acknowledging that? Do you feel there's a disconnect there?
He's dropping the story without what again?
He at the time of his presidency, he had dropped the most bombs in the Middle East. So like him talking about wanting to get out of the Middle East was great and all, but him not acknowledging that he did some of the most damage there. Do you find that a little bit hypocritical?
Nah, bro. Because at that point, he was working off the minds of his team. So it's not like the president was like, all right.
But I mean, he should have at least acknowledged it that he didn't do it.
I think Black touched on it earlier when he was like, you can't just get out of the Middle East, right? You gotta have a plan.
Absolutely,
and he probably like, man, I gotta blow some of these terrorists up before we gotta retract.
So what we were doing was, for the most part, I was trying to get the Taliban out of all the areas that was in. That was the most critical spots to break them up enough to where it'd be hard for them to recruit. So while we was in Afghanistan, they didn't have the numbers to attack in bunches, so they had to spread apart to where they can attack you and get out of there by themselves. It'd be like 2 or 3 of them, if not just one, because they didn't have the numbers to be all in the group. Because if you take the whole group out, then they all gone. So they rarely was in big packs to avoid being killed. Just like the president or vice president won't be in the same car because bam, just one hit, one killed. Now you got redo everything.
Got to redo everything. JB, you were gonna say something?
No, I was gonna say he probably just gonna bring it up later in the book because he gonna get deeper into his presidency and like.
I will say this: like he really zoomed, and this is why I'm hopeful for the next part, because like he's in his election by part 2. I was like, damn, okay, the book's kind of moving. So I hope he definitely does a deep dive.
Yeah,
what he basically planned on doing is breaking down all of the decisions he was making and what was going on while he's making those decisions and what he was thinking. And I want to see if he's going to mention how all the people, was outright just trying to stop him from going through with anything he wanted.
You want to know something else? Something about go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and to that earlier point as to why he took the Republicans, the whole time he been talking about unifying this and unifying that. Like he still sees through rosy colored glasses. So, why he needs to understand, what their positions were, because if he does win, like I got to work with y'all to figure this out.
No, and he wasn't big. They wasn't big on that while he was president, as far as getting the House and the Senate back, or just getting a portion of it, because they took that shit over a year after he was in there. Mm-hmm. But the first pretty much year and some change of your presidency is just going through finishing shit up that's already set from the last presidents. And all of it wasn't even all Bush. It was, the president before him and shit like that. But that's how it be. Like people like Trump was taking credit for shit that was getting done with as soon as he got in, like, now look at the unemployment. Motherfucker, that was already going down. You saw the biggest drops beforehand, and then it went up. Now it's like 17%.
The thing I would have loved to have seen from this trip was Obama have contact with the civilians in Iraq. His book. I know. Hell yeah! I know it would have been.
That's a bomb baby at you.
But the reason why I say this is because he tells a lot of stories about his interactions with random people on the streets that he meets while he was traveling through this election, and just that's how he won people over. They got to meet him.
First off, you can't talk to the women, so he just gonna be talking to some of them dudes that's super aggressive. They fucked up over there, and they was actually, Iraq was bad. They had them snipers over there. They was cold, so they have like recruiting videos and shit like that. Boy, anybody about to be walking around the street trying to talk to people with the motherfucking snipers?
Nah, even if they had to bring some of the base, but I just think that would have shined another light for Obama to see the people, because he didn't see the people of Iraq. He just was told about the people of Iraq, even though he was there, if that makes sense. He does well with people. So I would have loved to see him in that element. That was just me personally. But
you can't put nobody. Can't nobody with no power going at him, because you don't know who they're. You ever seen y'all seen the Old Guard, right?
Nah.
Damn, y'all ain't seen the Old Guard. It's on Netflix. That shit cold. But you see the girl in the she at the beginning it's a Marine girl, and they fucking hit a town up, and the town basically told her where the Taliban camp was. They go in. he shoot at them, but they shoot him. He down, and she trying to save him. And she turned around to say something to one of the troops with her, and then they cut her throat. But you can't trust them crowds, man. You don't know who the fuck bad or good. Because none of them ever look happy, so you don't know who upset or none of that shit.
He said none of them look happy.
Bro, I ain't like I rarely seen them over there smile like the men, because you can't see the women, but I've rarely seen them smile.
Interesting. So what about what else in chapter 8 stuck out to us? Because the part that I just really enjoyed was just hearing his talk. He finally made it back to the States, and people praised him for his travels and better understanding the situation. Was there anything else in chapter 8 that just stuck out to us? I'm not gonna lie. Part 2 was really long, but it didn't have much content.
No, I think the only other things in chapter 8 was him talking about or describing Joe Biden and why he chose him being a good communicator.
Okay.
How you know how they downplay all of the shit, how Biden be all on motherfuckers and shit, like how he talk, he go through the crowd. Like I heard a dude talking about Biden, like he said he ran into a black man. He was like, yeah, I like Biden because I ran into Biden fucking years and years ago about, and he talked to him about his job or whatever. And then years later, he runs back into Biden, and then Biden remembers all of that. He brings it up, asks him about it, shit like that. And that's Obama talking about how he was a people person, how he'd talk to one person, stop and talk to everybody, be inches away from you and shit like that. The shit that they try to say bad about him.
Yeah, I couldn't believe any of the Biden talk, because I was just sitting here and I was like, but when this motherfucker was running, when he was Obama's homeboy, where was all this? That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
I was like, he was in office for 8 years and no one brought up the fact that some lady thought she was being touched.
Yeah.
It just made it
Not
hard.
Not even her.
That's
exactly
what
be killing me. Yeah, that's what be killing me about a lot of this shit, man. Like if story come out, people change their story as soon as it's done. That's why everybody should follow Dave Chappelle fucking advice from that one episode where he had that contract. Yeah, all you want is have sex contract. Like all you gonna do oral. And he's like, all you want it in the butt, and he's it's optional, just all silly ass shit on that contract. But people just gotta have contracts like that. When you have some type of level of, or if you even if you have a plan to do better than what you got going on now, you damn near should have a contract.
Mm-hmm.
But you will do this on this date, and we doing these contracts on a regular basis.
I don't know if it'll be that easy, but hey, nowadays, man, it's scary. It's scary out here.
Yeah, because you touch a chick that wanted you to touch her, then 10 years later, he touched me inappropriately. Now I want to see it. Yeah, but you know how it go, man. You automatically guilty as soon as the motherfucker say something about you.
Guilty until proven
innocent.
Yeah,
this what McCain chose Palin too.
Yeah,
I guess that's the last 5 minutes because I ain't heard that shit.
Yeah, he chose Palin at 8.
Well, and this is a good point, because is it fair to say Sarah Palin is this the first time we ever saw a crazy Republican? This is the first one I remember.
Man, like McCain and what's that? I say off the cuff like that, yeah. With no background, no knowledge, like just I would say.
So y'all confusing, crazy with dumb.
Now I found it pretty interesting how up until this point throughout the book, Obama keep mentioning his lack of experience and how people held that against him. But when Sarah Palin kind of was nominated as the running mate for McCain, how people praised her for like the same thing.
Yeah,
and it's like, whoa, you gotta have the same energy.
That's a great
point. She had all type of dumb shit that the Republicans love. It was when she was talking about the abortion and her daughter got pregnant a week later.
That shit was hilarious. I remember that controversy, but it just further goes to show like the hypocrisy that the Republicans aren't afraid to like play down. Like they literally brought in a beauty pageant with 5 kids, and said, this is the thing that I knew she was done. She said she could see Russia from Alaska from her front porch. And everybody kind of just looked at her and was like, oh, she dumb. Okay, we done here. like people just walked away from her. So but I feel like she has to be the birth mother of like radical Republicans. And I mean, now, especially that we're looking at two women, white women, and this is strange. Maybe, I don't know, maybe white women are the harbinger of like radicalism, because there's two white women sitting in Congress right now. One of them is like saying that Sandy Hook didn't happen, and saying that the forest fires in California started because of a laser beam from space.
I forgot shorty name that was saying they should hang by Obama and Hillary and shit like that.
Like
that's in the Senate.
Like these people need to, like, I don't know how they haven't been removed. And I don't know if y'all know about Stephen King, who was the Republican who said he joined the KKK during his time, and they took away all his power. But now they're not trying to take away these two ladies' powers. And it just bothers me that like the Republican Party tried to impeach Bill Clinton for getting head in the Oval Office, but they're okay with their.
Well, it wasn't just him getting head, right?
What else?
It was infidelity.
It was
that's
infidelity.
Not against the law. That's not against the law.
But it tarnishes his image as the leader of the free world.
No, is it against the law? Is it something that you could be? Is it an impeachable crime?
No.
Right then, there was but we literally have people here causing an insurrection and trying to bring a gun onto the House floor.
So Heero, you making a very valid thing right now. See, this is something that Black and I we was talking about a little bit. The Democratic Party, the reason Hillary wasn't ready to, you just said it, the world wasn't ready for Hillary to be the first woman president. No, Democrats weren't ready. Because Republicans, they only care about they 4 topics. Don't mess with guns, don't mess with abortion, don't mess with our money and taxes, don't mess with that stuff. That's all they care about. The rest of the important stuff Democrats dig into, and that's why we can't control shit, because we got too many different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Both parties are split though, Jeremiah.
Yeah,
both parties are. I got a crazy split. Well, now the Republican Party is dumb split.
They split dumb now. Like,
now they got it worse to the basically the KKK.
At this time, they wasn't split at all.
Yeah.
At this point.
No. Yeah, but shit, the Democratic Party wasn't too much split back then either though. People, that's what I'm saying. They woke up after Obama first term. Everybody started waking up after Obama first term. So you got even the Republicans, bro. Now they waking up more because of Trump. So now you got the ones that want to go to Trump new party. What he calls the Patriotic Party.
How many times can you be fooled by one man? What Bush they fooled me once? Shame on me. Fool me twice. Shame on you. Fool me 3 times. You can't get fooled again. Like he literally, like, I don't get how people fall for the Trumpisms, man. I don't get it. But hey, that was chapter 8.
One other thing I wanted to touch on with that.
Go ahead.
Did everybody else know that Joe Biden was married before?
Yeah.
I didn't really know
before his new wife.
Before his new wife, I didn't really know a lot about him.
No, I never really care about people.
Yeah, I never care about people. Like, I don't ever care about that stuff.
The only reason why I knew about it is because of the accident. When she died in the accident with the daughter.
Yeah, I didn't know none of that. The daughter.
Yeah, but I thought his new wife was there. I ain't like how long he been? See, I don't care about that stuff.
No, see, he had a wife, and then he met Jill 3 years later. And that's who his wife now. Yeah. And yeah, I'm excited for her to be the first lady because she knows shit about education.
Yeah. Dr. Jill.
Did they just put some dumbass in education?
They put the lady that from Congress who brought the gun onto the floor.
QAnon, right?
Yeah, the QAnon lady. Put her in the education section.
The one that was asking the kids who got the school shot up, wouldn't they think it'd be better if people had guns?
Man,
and she got mad at the kid because he didn't want to talk to her and said all type of shit about him, bro. On the news, bro.
Man, that lady is crazy. I plan on doing a video about her next week, but that lady is it's just batshit crazy, bro. Batshit crazy.
And that's the one that said that they should hang Obama and hang Hillary
on Facebook. Yeah,
it was Twitter.
It didn't apologize for it. Just said, "Oh no, it was someone else running my page," and they were like, "But do you feel like they should still be hung?"
Well, it's not my and retweeting that type of shit.
Yeah, I just like to retweeted it. That's not my opinion though. I'm like, bro, get her the fuck out of there.
Somebody else was running your page.
Get her the fuck out of there, bro. So then let's go to chapter 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like this because they go back into the past and they talk about money. They talk about how they were living. They talk about how 2 rats isn't an infestation. That shit had me dying laughing.
It is if them rats getting busy like on Bad Boys.
Man, that rats eating the money. That shit was hilarious to me. So talk a little bit about it. Anything stick out for you? Because this is the last chapter for us, right? Yeah, chapter 9.
Yeah.
What else? Anything stick out chapter 9? Because they go back to the past, which I like, but I don't know. I feel like this was put in the wrong place for me. I would have loved to have seen this.
You ever seen the movie The Big Short?
Yeah.
So this is what that took me back to.
Yeah.
Like that movie. Because you like he's talking directly to what's going on at that time. And like he even talked about one person that he knew that couldn't short the position long enough, but he knew
exactly.
It was happening.
Yeah, it's homeboy.
I mean, that's exactly what the movie was based on. But it's, he was just talking about that period in time and what led to, I guess, the environment of the office that he ended up
inhabiting,
walking into.
TARP was the name of the group that they were using, and this was a very interesting chapter because we got to see something that I didn't know happened. Sit down meeting between Obama, Bush, and Cheney. And what you really come to find out is that the Republican Party don't know shit. That 7 people wrote a bill and none of them read it. They just knew that they didn't want to push it. Like, it just struck me that the Republican Party is so concerned with being contrary, for just to be contrarian on purpose. Like, they don't have a reason to. Like, when Bush tried to open the floor up for Kerry to counter Obama's opinion, and he was like, "Oh, I'd rather wait my turn." And Bush was like, "This motherfucker ain't ready to run. Damn, man, he gonna lose because his ass ain't ready." I just thought it was so crazy that these elected officials really don't be knowing shit.
Yeah, you didn't know. Like Bush made it evident the entire time that he didn't know shit. Like,
Bush was the awakening for me. I was like, "Oh, you can be dumb and run the country." Got it.
Like the entire time, like whether he was giving a speech, you watch him give a speech, like this really the dude running the country?
Like, what are you talking about, bro? He was good when it came to war shit.
I feel like with Bush though, he got the pass because his father. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if anybody watched
his father.
But he really got the pass because of the war shit, bro. When it came to war, bro, he was on point.
But if he wasn't George's son, he wouldn't have got it.
He wouldn't have got the look. Just like I'm not sure if anybody watched this series on Netflix called All American, right? And Tay Diggs, his son, is a star quarterback, right? And it's in South Central LA based. And essentially his son, he rich, right? He married to a white lawyer. His son, the star quarterback, and they have a combine, right? And it's him at this super expensive rich people school going against people from Crenshaw, right? And the quarterback from Crenshaw way better than his son, right? But his son get the looks. Facts.
You say Aaron was. You say the new quarterback. You talking about what's the name son? Cuddy's son from the Y, the stepson. That's the one.
No. I'm not talking about the dude who got injured in the. He was better than his son too. His son was just bigger than.
He was better than nobody.
Facts, bro. Facts. But he got the pass because his dad played in the NFL.
Yeah. But I didn't even think he was better though, to be honest with you. But that's a new soap opera. They love to turn black TV shows into soap operas. They don't even make that one ain't even make it out of the first season before it became a soap opera.
Yeah, and something else that was crazy in that chapter too. Not crazy, but it kind of talked to what was going on in the market. Like how people really don't understand the importance of like, oh, well, we got to bail out the banks. Like that's where your money at, fool. Uh, why we gotta about the markets and all of these other
Yeah,
things. Like nobody really understood why the
yeah,
financial moves was being made. They was just like, oh, we need to be bailed out, and it's like that's not really how money works.
yeah. It's quite interesting to see that the debate revolved around trying to find the money when everyone needed it. Like it doesn't really matter like where the money comes from, but the last thing you want is the market to collapse and the overemphasis on the market, because the stock market is constantly being touted as a picture of the economy, but we now know after Trump that's not reality. But markets that do depend on like society and social norms, the housing market. Like, I don't know how I would have felt if I had actually, like, if I was able to buy a house right then and there and then, like, lose it. I don't know what the feeling would have been, but it's very clear that two people who didn't know anything about money, one person claims to know something about money and the other one doesn't, which is the buyer and then the banks, and then their ability to just neglect one another. Like, how many lawsuits was this? Because I know you work in the financial district, so do you, Rob. So, like, when you're giving out this advice, you have to have a certain level of insurance or certainty that the person you're talking to is actually comprehending what you're saying to them. Because because of new laws, you'll be held liable. But even on good faith, like, you just wouldn't want, like, this ain't like you selling someone a car. Go ahead, JB.
So a lot of these compliance laws that we gotta follow and had to follow now are because of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because like I talk to a lot of advisors now, and they frustrated because they gotta go through all of this because they never had to do all of this before. Like I never had to jump through all of these hoops just to invest money or whatever, whether they doing it right or wrong. Um, a lot of this stuff, a lot of the compliance stuff that's locked in is from that. And the other thing is like you said, just realizing how the economy is tied to the market. And like everybody like, well, I kept seeing the post about like the rich people mad that the poor people like getting into the market. And it's like, well, if everybody's investing in the stock market, let's say we all invest in Apple, but nobody's actually buying Apple, we're all losing. Like, so there's no point in doing that. So if you can't do both, don't do it.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Go ahead, Rob. Did you have anything?
No, I think JB hit it on the head.
I'm just listening. I ain't read chapter 9.
We ain't even talk about the book.
Black me out here trying to find the easiest way out. Damn. Another thing that we came across was the death of Toots in chapter 9. His grandmother passed away, and he talks a little bit about how he missed the passing of his mother and how he wasn't going to make the same mistake twice. Toots has always been a person who, in passing, Obama just speaks on it. She just says her little spill and she moves on. But when she's not by him, she's constantly worried about him. It speaks to the motherly love that you see a lot. But he also wasn't afraid to acknowledge that Toots had some identity issues as far as from a racial standpoint. Like, she didn't really have a racial mindset of norms, and how strange it might have been for her to welcome in his father in back then in the day. So it was good to see that.
Never got over it.
Oh, really?
I'm still not over it. Like, she reminds me of a person that know how to love like the black people that's around her. But outside of that, I don't really want to deal with black people. No,
that's a thing that you hear too. Rob, I can only imagine how many times you heard this. Oh, Rob, he's not like the other ones. Like,
I've actually. So and starting my career, I would just let people say that, but now I dive into it. Like, wait, what do you mean by that?
What that mean?
What do you actually mean by it? What are
okay.
you trying to say? Right? Because I am like that.
I can do that.
Right?
I don't know what. Yeah, fuck that.
I'll take this shirt off. I'll show you the tattoos. I'll show you the bullet holes. I'll show you everything. I'm just like them. Whatever them means.
That's why I would. Hey,
I'm him.
I got a shirt that say "Yeah, I'm black" or some shit like that. And
No, I think this JB hit it on the head for me. Like, he ain't forgave her yet. But is it his responsibility to try and change that? Is it like in his is like, okay, dealing with the family member? Let's say somebody said this shit to me and it made me laugh because I got dreads, and they're like, what if like your daughter or your son brought in a white woman and she had dreads and she was like, oh, it's just my natural hair. Like, would I have an issue with that? And I was just like, one, that's her body, so I can't really tell her what to do with her body. That doesn't really have to do much. Right? If you could do something to make your hair look a certain way, good on you. But like, that's not going to change that. But if she's going to come around and say that this is just like, this was like, that's not natural for you. You had to do something to your hair to make that happen. I just forgot to brush my hair for a month, and then my shit started getting like this. So, like, I always hesitate to pick and choose how I gatekeep the black community, because I don't want to seem like I'm being a radical, but I just want to let people overstep their boundaries with me. So I'm of the mindset with Rob. Like, that one time I had to go help a patient, and all I had to do was draw blood. That was something I could have told a nursing aide to do, but I wanted to make face contact with the patient, let them know, one of the professionals on the team are here at all times. And she was like, oh, could you go get the doctor instead to do that? I said, to go draw blood? Well, actually, doctors don't know how to draw blood. They literally don't know how to do it. They don't know how to work this machine. They're like, oh, well, the doctor said nothing would happen to me if he wasn't there. And I just called everyone on the floor to come into her one little room and had everyone in there watch me draw the blood. And she just felt dumb. So, like, I'm always about teachable moments, you feel me?
Mm-hmm. I say just because she was like who she was to him, he knew that having that conversation was probably going to lead to them having a bitter relationship, or none at all. And I think he just intentionally, probably not intentionally, but subconsciously just left it alone and was like, she just gonna know great black people through me and my family.
Yeah. And I think that's a fair assessment. If you're gonna know great black people, I'm happier knowing it through me. That's a great point. So then let's talk about the win. I felt there should have been a bigger buildup to the win. They just said it in passing. There was nothing significant about it. There was no like memorabilia, and it probably speaks to the fact that he says he doesn't really remember much from the day. He doesn't really remember how it went down. And when he watches it, he has a hard time placing himself in that moment. But what did the win mean to you guys individually? Black, you don't have to read this to know anything about the book. When Obama was announced as our president, 44, I got to get you back.
I had to throw a little bit of shade. I got you next week though.
Yeah. Because you was
I was bringing all type of shit up for the new parts.
Like, speak on what it meant for Obama to win the presidency.
I mean, you know how it meant a lot for people. You know what I mean? Like for the undercard people, like you just black people in general, bro. But for like, it was just, for me, it was still just another president. Like, it was a black president, and bam, who I thought parade. But I was trying to get to Afghanistan, and so my main concern wasn't who was president, bro. I was already a Marine. I was already trained and shit like that. But when he was president, I was already coming to the Marine Corps. So it was just like, I was on my shit.
All right. Well, then what about you, JB? First black president from the crib. Like, what was where were you?
You got to be careful with that from the crib.
Oh, well, he's half Kenyan, so he got a little Kenyan in him too. So
No, I was just gonna say I was at home with my parents, but actually listening to this part, I get chills because it happened. Like because it did mean a lot to me at that time. It still mean a lot because I knew that everything he did, and I even took a note like that I was writing, but I knew everything he did was gonna get scrutinized. But there was no better person than a black person to take over the way the economy was. We've been doing that forever, and like they like he showed it. Like I just gotta manage the money a little bit. That ain't nothing. Like I've been doing that. So yeah, it meant a lot.
Robin, unless you want to answer the same question, I'll pose a different question.
Yeah.
How was it a sense of concern for you when you saw him come to prominence? Like, were you? I feel like I took a position of concern. Like I was like, okay, everybody's watching this dude now. I got concerned for Obama. Like, do you want to take? You can answer that question on the first one, and I'll speak on
I'm gonna hit them both. I'm gonna hit them
Mhm.
both for the. And the first one is just me being honest. I feel like seeing Obama make president was dope, but for me specifically, I felt like during the 2008 2009 timeline, seeing Derrick Rose get drafted to the NBA was more impactful for me personally, right? Because I've been to that gas station on 71st and Ashland. Like, this dude is from right here, right? I know what it's like being right here, right? And to see him make it to the league, it's like, yo, I ain't really playing basketball, but I got to figure something out, man. This dude did it. Something gonna get done out here. And then to your second question, when he did become president, I think my response or reaction was, dang, man, they finna be coming for him. They gonna come for him. Anything he do wrong, it's on. Anything.
And I know a lot of older people, that lived through the '60s, and he touched on it throughout. But they was really praying that he just lived through his president. He didn't do nothing else, just live through it.
Yeah, survive. The way that it struck me is a little bit of regret because up until this point, this for me was like my transition. This was like when I just got the full scholarship to go to college, and I'm training and I'm working out, and and it just all went over my head. So I didn't really get to follow the political season. I wasn't into politics back then like I was now. And I didn't get a chance to even vote for him, and then 4 years later, I'm getting drafted to the NFL. So it was just another bismal. So I always regret that I cannot say that I took part in this historic event, but that's what it was to me. It was just, it's anything is possible. From here is possible. That's what resonated with me. So the regret of that, and then also a part of a little bit of like identity politics came into my mind. Like, when there was this big talking point, like, well, he's half this, or like even with Kamala, they like to say she's half that. Shut the fuck up. Let black people have it. If you got anything black in you, you belong to us. Unless we trade your ass off. You saw we got rid of Tiger and brought him back. So like, nah,
Yeah,
like
he got his shit together.
Yeah, got his shit together. And tell me that picture of him and his son ain't the coldest picture you ever seen.
That's the coldest. And to that point, his son is the only athlete ever that actually got a chance at being as good as his dad. Because golf ain't super athleticism. It's all about technique. And you watch his son, he looked just like Tiger.
That picture was cold as shit. But man, that concludes chapter 9. Was there anything else y'all want to throw in there?
Shit, we made it in time. My headphone's about to die.
Hey man, it was one thing he said that was cool. He was talking about how Bush like let his people shadow and everything like that. I just think about like when Trump took over, how mad he was having to do that shit because he said he was gonna reciprocate it to whoever took over.
But that people was leaving and quitting by the time what's his name came in because of that shit. But that made the way Trump left made everybody else just seem that much cooler, bro. Like that made people just appreciate.
Obama left and Trump came in.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying Obama had his people Obama had his people there, just like Bush had their people there, but the way Trump left make it seem like made everybody else seem that much cooler. Now people appreciate Bush a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because of how bad Trump was.
That's true. That is true.
The way Trump was, he made everybody else appreciate everybody that they so-called hated back at some point.
Yeah, like damn, Bush wasn't even that bad.
Yeah,
no,
when you that bad, like Trump, it's easy to say Trump's the worst president we've ever had. Under his watch, the most Americans have died. Under his watch, the economy has been at its worst. That's just something he has to live with. And I was telling this to somebody the other day. Ever since they kicked him off of social media, I low-key miss my little orange Oompa Loompa, man. Because it was funny just to troll his ass. It was just funny just to see the dumb shit he was gonna say next.
His ass about to go into hiding.
I hope he started another party. We'll never have a Republican in office.
He needs some boots. That nigga needs some boots.
He needs some lawyers, is what he needs.
Go shovel some snow.
Yeah, he do. Hey, Black, mute yourself, old Family Guy having ass.
Y'all froze or y'all what? What's going on?
No,
you froze.
You froze with your bathrobe on.
Yeah, y'all keep froze. Oh, look.
He got the king. He got the king chair.
Yeah, I'm just riding.
Game of Thrones.
You know what? Burn them. Now y'all keep freezing on my shit, bro.
It's that wild internet service, bro.
Yeah. I got the joint. I got the Xfinity Plus. Oh, okay. The light made it seem like a nigga hit me in the eye. I had to zoom in. Like, hold the fuck on. We all do it all type of shit on our camera.
Oh man.
Everybody ain't got cameras.
Hey, let me live. If this camera don't work by the end of the day, I got bigger issues.
Hey, I will say,
go to Radio Shack.
Black and JB got me thinking every time I say two now before I say it. I'm like, damn, I really sound like dude from Baltimore. That's crazy.
Nah, man, don't let him mess with you, Rob. You fine. Your vernacular is fine. Your vernacular is fine. Hey, we got any Super Bowl predictions? Is Super Bowl this week?
Yeah, I don't never bet against Tom, but I could definitely see the Chiefs winning. But I ain't bet against
Super
Tom
Bowl this week.
Hey, maybe. That's this week, bro.
It's this week.
Really?
It's not today.
It's already Sunday. Yeah. But
Okay.
seeing that
Rob,
today is the first day of the week, so it is. No, he's not mute. I heard him. But I can see KC winning.
If
how they played the other
Green
day, I was
Bay,
like, damn, bro.
If you tell me Tom Brady throws three interceptions and he still won, I'm calling it a rigged game.
Yeah, he's not gonna do that again. He was trying.
The way KC was working,
he actually should have only threw two. He actually only should have threw one. One of them went right through Mike Evans' hands. The other one, he threw it right to Mike Evans and went through his hands, and he threw the same play again, and that's why it got picked because Amos just.
I'm trying to see if KC gonna sack that nigga one time like they was sacking bro ass.
No, Tom got the third best line in the league.
Yeah, that line that they had, the line that they had was just like letting everybody in every motherfucking.
Well,
snap.
they two tackles was out the game.
Yeah.
Both their tackles was out, and both the Chiefs tackles out too. So Patrick Mahomes gonna have to be moving the pocket because
is Antonio Brown playing?
JPP don't got the speed he used to. I remember when I was playing with him.
Hey, is Antonio Brown playing this week?
Yeah, he playing.
Antonio Brown.
Well, they ain't say it.
Oh, about to say that's damn near gonna make it a game for them. Right there, just him in there alone. It's gonna scare them.
Well, fellas, I'll leave this on here for y'all, but I gotta jump on a family call real quick. But
my headphones about to die, so I'm gonna go ahead kick it.
JB, I'll hit you up in a little bit. We can talk. Unless there's anything y'all want to throw out there, any sponsorships, anything like that.
We need to check in about these stocks though.
Oh, you want me to send you my little link? What's up?
Yeah, I'll say we can talk about that shit. We can talk about that shit later on. You see what's up.
Yeah, because I plan on buying back in the GameStop at when it hits 219 tomorrow.
Okay, cool then.
You think it's gonna go back up after it hits 219?
My shit just died, so I'm gone.
All right, yeah, definitely, for sure. I'll hit y'all back up and give y'all my plan because I plan on talking about doing a stock market podcast today, and that's all I'm gonna be talking about is which stocks I'm gonna buy.
So I just need to straddle GameStop and watch that shit.
I'm gonna give you another one. Look up KOSS.
I see that. I seen that one. Yeah.
That's where I made my money all this week, and not gonna lie, that's where I made all my money. But I plan on doing the video. Were you there on the live stream? Yeah, during the live, I did the live stream on Tuesday. We just woke up at the market.